Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages for tonight's contest between Sandhills Thedford and Central Valley. We want to start by thanking our sponsors bringing you this broadcast. They include Custer Public Power District, Bass Enterprises, Consolidated, BD Broken Bow, Midwest Partition, Sandhill Oil, Ewalt's Grocery, Kyle and Carrie Hakey, Sandhills Public Schools, Western Nebraska Bank, Crossroads Auto Repair Specialists, Sargent Insurance Agency of Thedford, Gateway Motors Broken Bow, Palmer Monument, Lines Appliance, Agribest Feeds, Insurance of the Heartland, Grocery Cart Broken Bow, Power Solutions, Agland ATV, BD Broken Bow, Colligan, Del Moniger, and Tim Wright, Meade Lumber, Nebraska State Bank, Kristen Electric, Callaway District Hospital with the Arnold and Callaway Medical Clinics, and Thedford Public Schools. Let's take a look at our starters for this evening's contest. For Central Valley, we'll run them down in order. Tanner Landers gets the start. He is a senior. Grady Kelly in the starting lineup as a sophomore. Traven Straka is a junior. Tajan Soto is a sophomore. Dirks Nikolajczyk is a junior. Xander Wolf, a senior, will be saying his name a lot tonight. Cohen Grossard is a senior, and Kian Benson is a senior as well. For the Sandhills Thedford Knights, it's Kyle Cox, Colin Winklebauer, Connor Cooksley, Caden Hakey, Zeb Wild, Andrew Furrow, Rhett McFadden, and Brady Dahlberg. We'll pause for the national anthem and get underway here shortly from Thedford. Those in attendance treated to a great playing of the national anthem by the Sandhills Thedford Pep Band. We've got a band over here on the near side as well, so we're going to have a battle of the bands here on site in Thedford as well. And doing something a little bit different for this round 2 D2 game. They're going to have the coin flip in the middle of the field right before kickoff. I think that's kind of a cool thing that the officials are deciding to do here tonight. Kind of adds the eyes onto it a little bit more, gets people a little bit more attentive as to who's winning the toss and what's going on with the toss. So we'll call that for you here on the radio. Gives me an opportunity to thank the wonderful crews that officiate all throughout the year. Comes down to the playoffs where things get pretty busy every single Friday night. Of course, things are kind of broken up the first round between 8-man, 6-man, and 11-man. Central Valley won the toss and they elect to receive. Sandhills Thedford will kick off and defend to start the contest. A quick look at these two teams. Sandhills Thedford 7-1 in the regular season. They defeated Hyannis last week right here on the field you're seeing in the opening round of the D2 playoffs by a score of 80-28. They are the back-to-back D2 state runners-up. Central Valley also 7-1 in the regular season. They defeated St. Mary's 52-6 in the first round. They made the playoffs in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. Their deepest playoff run was in that final year in 2020. They lost in the semifinals to BDS by a score of 36-40. Jeremy Shipe with you here on Sandhills Express on YouTube and Facebook. Jeff Bailey behind the camera this evening in Thedford. The sun just dipped below the horizon. We were staring into the sun literally, but now it has gone down and we've got a beautiful view of the field here this evening. We thank you for joining us right here on Sandhills Express. Before we get into the game, if you want to drop a follow on our Facebook or YouTube page, we would appreciate that greatly. We do lots of live streaming, both our morning show every Monday through Friday morning, and we do a lot of sporting events as well throughout the central Nebraska area. So here we go, Central Valley and their offense to take over first here in the first quarter. Brady Dahlberg to put his foot into it for Sandhills Thedford. He runs forward and does just that. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 2-yard line on the far side of the field. Running up on it initially was Xander Wolf, but he made the right decision not touching it as it was kind of angling that way. It goes out of bounds, and we'll see what comes of it. So it looks like Central Valley has elected to take the ball. No re-kick happening. The 25-yard line is where they will set up shop. We're going to be calling Xander Wolf's name a lot tonight. 194 carries coming into this evening, just over 1,600 yards, 35 touchdowns on the ground, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Here comes the Central Valley offense. The give the first time up the middle is to Nikolajczyk. That is Xander Wolf on the first give. That's a gain of 3, second down and 7 coming up for the Cougars. Central Valley back up to the line. One wide receiver split out near side. That's Landers. They're going to come this direction. A little bit of an option play. They kick it out to Xander. Xander is going to be wrapped up as he reaches midfield. Xander Wolf, 2 plays and a first down off of his cleats. And the ball is, in fact, going to be spotted right at the 40-yard line. Dirks Nikolajczyk is the quarterback for Central Valley. 777 yards through the air this year. 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 26 carries as well for 3 touchdowns as Central Valley runs it right up the middle. They got into their formation quickly and ran it forward for 5 yards. Sandhills Thedford going to have their hands full with the size of Central Valley this evening. I was down on the field before the game, and these guys in white and dark blue are pretty darn tall. One of them is out near side. That's Landers. Snap back, they hand it off to Wolf, and he's going to get stacked up. Leading the charge for Sandhills Thedford was Kobe Higgins. Also coming in and helping out was Zeb Wild. A couple of names we'll call defensively quite a few times this evening. Leading tackler for Sandhills Thedford is Zeb Wild, 77 tackles, 5 tackles for loss to lead the Knights defensively this season. 3rd down and a short 5 for Central Valley. Nikolajczyk kind of in the pistol. He's got Wolf behind him. Snap back, miscommunication on the play, and they're not going to get it. Tackle for a loss to the Sandhills Thedford Knights. Looking one way was Nikolajczyk, running the other direction was Xander Wolf. They were on different pages, and it causes a 4th down. We'll see what the Cougars come up with here. Sandhills Thedford needing themselves a stop on this opening drive to get off on the right foot defensively. You'll hear me call out the time and score a lot tonight, folks. That's just because I'm used to being on the radio. I'm a radio man by trade. Trying the video thing in the playoffs here. I appreciate your patience. Snap back, Nikolajczyk going to pass. Nothing there initially. Now it's somehow gets through, and being pulled down inside the 20 is Central Valley's Soto. And there's going to be extra there because jumping on his back and pulling him down by the horse collar was Rhett McFadden. It saved what could have been a touchdown. but it's going to add extra yardage onto the end of this one. And man, that one almost didn't get through. Andrew Furrow almost had his hand on it in coverage. It had to have been just by the end of his finger that got through. Tajan Soto on the receiving end of that one, and Central Valley is down to the 7-yard line. The Wildcat, Wolf, in the quarterback position. Direct snap to him, has blockers. Going to get stacked up as he reaches the 5-yard line. Kind of could almost credit his own players just as much as Sandhills Thedford for that tackle. But the tackle will go to Connor Cooksley in the scorebook, I would guess. Opening possession of this game between Sandhills Thedford and Central Valley. Knights on defense. 5-yard line is where the Cougars set up. Wolf in there in the Wildcat again. They direct snap it to the man standing to his right. That's Kelly. Kelly tries to reverse field but gets stacked up, and a flag comes in from the far side official. We'll see what that one is about. There's all kinds of things going on in there around the 5-yard line. It is a hold against Central Valley. So that will make their and goal situation a little bit tougher to surmount. .8:22 on the clock. Opening possession, like I said, Central Valley still on offense, but they're going to have 2nd down and goal from the 17-yard line. Nickel Isaac back in there at quarterback. Snap back to him, empty backfield. Drops back, has pressure. Zeb Wild rushing him. Furrow comes in and slaps it back at him. Good coverage down the field. Nickel Isaac had nowhere to go, and it is 3rd down and goal from the 17. Boy, Sandhills Thedford has really rallied well after giving up that play on 4th down that set up this and goal situation. Now they're going to have to rally for 2 more plays as the Cougars in 4-down territory. Zeb Wild came around on the back end of that one and made Nickel Isaac run out in the flat, and he couldn't find anything. Nickel Isaac with Kelly to his left. They run the option near side, looks to pass. Wild pressures him again. He throws it up. There's one man wide open. A breakdown in coverage, a touchdown to Grady Kelly of Central Valley from 17 yards out, and that's tough to swallow if you're a Knights fan because you had him covered really, really well. Just let a man leak through on the backside. Now the 2-point attempt. Nickel Isaac with Wolf behind him. Snap back, handoff to Wolf, and he is knocked down immediately. Coming in there and applying the pressure for Sandhills Thedford was Caden Hakey. 2-point conversion, no good. Those are big in 8-man football. We'll see how that plays out as Central Valley takes the lead 6-0. 8 minutes to go, first quarter. Again, thank you to the sponsors you see scrolling on your screen throughout tonight's broadcast. They have made it possible. We're KCNI KBBN Radio out of Broken Bow, Nebraska, doing a video stream of tonight's broadcast. We had 2 radio broadcasts on our 2 radio stations elsewhere. Earlier on this afternoon and early evening, we had on KBBN Howells Dodge, the top seed, taking on South Loop. Howells Dodge gets the victory in that one, 40-12 to move forward. They will be taking on DCS, who got a 48-8 victory over Johnson Brock. Kickoff into the hands of Sandhills Thedford, looking to get some good field position. Cooksley brings it out across the 15, is tripped up just short of the 20. And that is where Sandhills Thedford will set up shop, looking to answer the score of Central Valley. A drive that started on their own 25-yard line, ended with a 17-yard touchdown pass from Nikolajczyk to Grady Kelly. The 2-point conversion was no good. That's how we sit at 6-0 on the scoreboard. Knights out there in the I formation. Kyle Cox under center. Snap back, hands it off to Hakey. Hakey falls forward for a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 coming up. As Kurt Crawley would say, that is an on-schedule play. You want to go forward and give yourself 2nd and shorter and 3rd and short situations. That makes for a successful offensive drive. Same formation, Cooksley dots the I for the Knights. Snap back, Cox hands it off to Cooksley, swims through one tackle, breaks another, still crawling on hands and knees, and he's going to be tackled right at the line to gain. This might move the chains. And it doesn't pass the eye test from the officials. It's going to be about a half yard that the Knights need. Sticking with the I formation, Cox trips, throws it into the belly of Cooksley. He's got the 1st down, tackle just short of the 35. Knights 1st down at the 34-yard line. We go inside 7 minutes to go here, 1st quarter. Central Valley's offense marched from their own 25-yard line all the way down the field. Sandhills Thedford forced a long and goal situation, also had a long 4th down conversion that they forced as Cooksley is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 coming up. A couple of other scores we're aware of. Hitchcock County on the bottom of the bracket, 52-0. The victory they got over the 15 seed Humphrey St. Francis in a 4 o'clock Central Time kickoff at Trenton. They will await the 7 and 10 seeds, Ainsworth and Elm Creek. That game kicked off at 5 o'clock. At halftime, I'll try to gather some scores for you folks. 3 wide receivers near side. Kyle Cox in the shotgun for the first time tonight. Kyle drops back, directing traffic back there, now has to escape. Feeling pressure, is going to get tackled for a loss out of bounds on the far side. Couldn't get it thrown away, couldn't get a pass downfield, and that's a good play by Central Valley defensively. They contained him and then flushed him out on the far side late. Now a non-on-schedule play for Sandhills Thedford. 3rd down and 12 facing the Knights here. Dahlberg out near side, as is Caden Hakey. Cooksley stands in the backfield with Kyle Cox, who drops back to pass. Cox steps into one, now is going to escape. Going to try to do it with his legs. He's out across the 40 to the 35, puts his head down. Did he get the 1st down? He did. An inspired 12-yard run by Kyle Cox. Escaped late, found some green grass, put his head down. That's just knowing where the 1st down line is. What a great run by Kyle Cox. Into Cougar territory go the Knights. Wanting to cap off their own offensive drive to answer the offensive drive of Central Valley. Handoff, Cooksley smoked right in the inside of the line. Ty Landers put his helmet right in the gut of Cooksley and slammed him back, but Cooksley fell forward a little bit, got forward progress, and a gain of a yard. 5:15 to go, 1st quarter. From the 34, Kyle Cox back under center. Barks out a couple of hard counts. And I think on the 4th call, a pitch out to Cooksley. Has some room there, but he's chopped up. Good recovery by Central Valley. The tackle over there made by Grady Kelly, who took out the legs of Cooksley, who has shown that if you don't take his legs out every time, you're going to have a hard time taking him down up top. So Kelly did a good job coming in there, making a sure tackle just short of the 30-yard line. Go the Knights. Big 3rd down play coming up here. The Knights in 4-down territory, I would think. So you got to get a chunk of this here if you're the Knights. Hakey split out near side. Snap back, Kyle Cox, shove out to Cooksley. Cooksley is going to have the first down inside the 25-yard line. Great play call by Sandhills Thedford. They put one man out that way, and Cooksley gets the little shove pitch variety from the quarterback and headed up the field quickly to get the first down. Boy, really good offense and defense from both of these teams to start this game. If this is a preview of what all 4 quarters are going to look like, we're in for a good one. Design quarterback run. Kyle Cox misses a tackle, almost breaks a second one, but gets knocked out of bounds at the 20. Tackle credited to Grady Kelly of Central Valley. Sandhills Thedford's offense, 1,502 rushing yards this season, 1,303 passing yards. Pretty balanced offense when they need to be, as Caden Hakey splits out near side. Snap back, Kyle Cox. That pitch shove out to Cooksley again. Cooksley going to get inside the 15 and going to get tackled pretty darn near that yard to gain. It's going to be just short, maybe about a yard short. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Knights again. The Central Valley has been doing a good job forcing these 3rd down situations, but Sandhills Thedford's been able to come out on the right side of them. We'll see what they dial up here. Kyle Cox, quarterback keeper, he's got it. Tackle just short of the 10-yard line, down at the 11. Knights first down. They can pick up a first down at about the half-yard line. So this is as close to first down and goal as you can get without it being first and goal. 1st and 10 from the 10.5-yard line. Hakey split out far side. Kyle Cox, Cooksley to his left, shoves it out to him. Cooksley has green grass, decides to reverse field, and wow, what a tackle made in there by Central Valley's Ty Landers. Took his ankles out again. It really looked like Cooksley had a lot of grass in front of him, but Landers came shooting in and reeled him in. Three minutes to go, first quarter. Sandhills Thedford trying to answer the 6-point score that Central Valley had on their opening possession. This is just our first possession for Sandhills Thedford here. Kyle Cox stands alone in the shotgun, has a man, has Cooksley inside the 5, loses the football. Oh no, Sandhills Thedford loses the ball inside the 5 after driving all the way from their own 19-yard line. It's Cougars ball inside the 5. Soto with the hit there jarred the ball loose, and now Central Valley's got a lot of yardage in front of them, but they hold up against the Sandhills Thedford offense. Nikolajczyk, snap back to him, hands it off. Wolf going to get out of a little bit more danger there, gets about 5 on first down. So now it goes without saying, Sandhills Thedford wants a stop. They gave up 6 the first time out, did some amazing things offensively. They were right on the doorstep of pay dirt, but they cough it up inside the 5, and now Wolf is going to be the featured back again. No surprise here as they give it to him, tackled just 2 yards short of a first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1, just short of the 15. Central Valley in the huddle. Now they break it and come up to the line. A drive that started inside their own 4-yard line. Nikolajczyk in the pistol, has Wolf behind him. Man standing to his right is Kelly. Gives it off. Sandhills Thedford sniffs this one out. Wolf is driven back. Tackle for loss. Back at the 11-yard line. That's going to make 4th down that much easier, and going to give Central Valley a little bit less room on this punt. So Sandhills Thedford does what they need to do after giving up the ball inside the 5. Knights fans sighing a breath of relief after Central Valley's offense came out the first drive and looked very dangerous. Well, one player for Central Valley starts running up the field before the ball's even snapped, and a timeout is taken by the Cougars. Wanting to take off a little early was Boston Wood, the sophomore, over on the near side of the field. But the Cougars take a timeout, and we'll step away and have the remainder of the first when we come back. Well, here we go. The punt is going to happen here after the Central Valley timeout. Back to put his foot into it is Grady Kelly, the sophomore. Kelly receives it, kind of runs out to about the 2. Now, after waiting, puts his foot into it. Wow, gets a hold of this one. Bounces at the 30-yard line and is downed at the 28 by Central Valley's Boston Wood. Kind of a rugby-style kick there for Central Valley. And that will set up the offensive possession for Sandhills Thedford. Zeb Wild going over to Connor Cooksley, grabbing him by each side of the helmet, saying to the effect, I'm sure of something, forget it, man, it's all right, we're going to get 6 here. We'll see how the Knights offense comes out at their own 28-yard line. Misdirection handoff to Hakey. He's going to get 6 yards right up the middle. Well, call it 7. They give him a favorable spot out across the 35. Good play there on first down as we go inside 30 seconds to go first quarter. Knights up to the line again. Back of the football sits at the 35. Kyle Cox under center. Barks out the count. Hands it off to Cooksley. Cooksley has a first down and is wrapped up right at midfield. Coming in, leading the charge for the Cougars was Aiden Freeman. It's a Knights first down, and that is what we will have as we start this second quarter. Central Valley 6, Sandhills Thedford nothing, but driving down the field as we come back for the second quarter in just a moment. Welcome back. Second quarter time here on Sandhills Express on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Sandhills Thedford right to left now. Kyle Cox, design quarterback run. Little stutter step, he's going to get 5 up to the 35-yard line. Boy, Central Valley was in the backfield pretty quick there, but the fleet foot of Kyle Cox got him 5 yards. Very entertaining first quarter. Central Valley with 2 possessions. Sandhills Thedford with 2 possessions of their own, the second of which you're seeing right now. Kyle Cox out of the I formation, hands it off. Cooksley gets popped and leans forward to get as much as he can. Central Valley tackle around the knees by Tajan Soto. Going to be a gain of a long 2, third down and a long 3 coming up for the Knights. As Kyle Cox will bring the play into his team. Between being a defensive back, a quarterback, and going over to getting the plays tonight, Kyle Cox is going to put about a half marathon on those cleats. As we go inside, 11 minutes to go, first half. Snap back, design quarterback run. Kyle Cox out across the 30, flag coming in. That's in a bad area if you're Sandhills Thedford. This might be coming back. And it's a hold against Sandhills Thedford. So the Knights can have a little bit more work to do before they are awarded the first down. We'll see where this ball is spotted eventually. 38-yard line of Central Valley. So that'll make a 3rd and 3 situation, a 3rd and a long 8 situation. Trips to the far side for the Knights. One wide receiver split out near side for the quarterback, Cox. Snap back to him, throws it out. Dahlberg, a screen. Brady puts his head down and is going to get tackled just inside the 35. So Central Valley holds. We'll see what the Knights elect to do. It's going to be 4th down and 4 for Sandhills Thedford. Big play, possibly the biggest play of the first half right now. Sandhills Thedford did what they needed to do after coughing up the ball inside the 5-yard line of their opponent. They got the stop, forced the punt. Now they're driving down the field. They want to continue that drive. 3 wide receivers out near side. Kyle Cox, snap back to him. Throws it out in the flat. Cooksley has some room in front of him. Swims through a defender and is tackled inside the 20-yard line. First down, Sandhills Thedford. Inspiring running after the catch by Cooksley. And the Knights have a first down after that 4th down pickup. Boy, both of these offenses are being held to 3rd and 4th down situations, and then they do just enough to move the chains each time. Snap back, Kyle Cox, design quarterback run. Nothing going to be there. He's wrapped up around the ankles by Central Valley's Ty Landers. Called his name plenty of times so far in the first half here. It's going to be a loss of 1. The Knights go back outside the 20-yard line. Thanks for joining us here on Sandhills Express on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Jeremy Scheib of KCNI KBBN Radio. Jeff Bailey behind the camera for you this evening. Snap back to Kyle Cox. Design quarterback run. Tries to bounce it outside. Nothing there. Landers tackles him. The ball comes out. Who has it? Well, Kyle Cox throws it up to the official at the end of the play. So Sandhills Thedford retains possession, but things getting a little bit sketchy as far as holding onto the ball a couple times here tonight. Sandhills Thedford going to be reminded at halftime by their coaching staff, I'm sure, to keep that thing high and tight. Getting a little bit loose with it on the outside every now and then. 3rd down and 8 again. This is what Sandhills Thedford picked up the last time they threw it to Cooksley. We'll see what they do this time. Ball back to Kyle Cox. Nothing there initially. Now wants to escape. Gets a block on the outside. Gonna get, he eludes one tackler and gets tackled short of the 10-yard line. Flag comes in at the end of that one. Whistle, the flag came in, or started to come in maybe about a second or two before the whistle was blown. Oh, it's a personal foul against the Cougars. So that is humongous for the Knights, as that's going to give them a first down, which they did not pick up on the 3rd down play. It's going to be 1st and goal, Knights from the 6-yard line. Wow. Kyle Cox with Cooksley standing to his right in the shotgun. That little shove pitch. Cooksley angling. Gets down to the 2-yard line. Flags on the field. Tackled over there on the far side by Zayden Wolf. They're going to actually spot him at about the 1 yard line, but we'll sort out the flag. It's a hold against the Knights. So out come the flags on this drive. And in back-to-back plays, we've gone forward and then backwards now, trying to sort out this possession. 8:16 to go, first half. Sandhills Thedford with the ball, trailing 6-0. Here come the Knights up to the line. Kyle Cox by himself in the shotgun formation. Drops back to pass, looking for Hakey. It's short, and it's slapped away. Hakey tried to come back to it. Coverage was by Dirks Nikolajczyk. The ball was underthrown, and Hakey made a good effort at it. Almost got his hands on it. In fact, got one palm on it. It would have been a crazy catch, but not out of the realm of possibilities to be completed. The back of the football sits on the 15-yard line. 3 wide receivers out far side, 1 wide receiver near side for the Knights. Snap back, Kyle Cox in the flat. Cooksley turns upfield inside the 10, popped right there, and it's going to get forward progress down to about the 6 or 7 yard line. In the area, I saw Kai Cargill on the tackle. I think I also saw Aiden Freeman over there for the Cougars. Here's 3rd and goal from about the 7 yard line. Big play here for the Knights. 4 down territory. Got to try to get about half of it here. Or into the end zone if you're a Knights fan. That's certainly what you want. Kyle Cox, ball back to him. Going to escape up the middle. Finds a little bit of room. Leans down. Did he get there? No, he's tackled at the half-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle by Tajan Soto. Oh, here we go, folks. This is what it all comes down to. Second round D2 playoff football. Who's going to get the push on the line? The half-yard line is where the ball sits. It's 4th and goal, Knights. I formation. Kyle Cox leaps for it and gets it. 6 points, Sandhills Thedford. A quick snap, and he leaps right over the top and scores it for the Knights. They got up on the ball pretty quick as well and hopped right over the goal line to score it. Now, the ever-important points after. The 2-point attempt out of the I formation. Hakey and Cooksley behind Kyle Cox. Hand off to Cooksley. Cooksley going to get wrapped up. He leans, but he got it. They didn't wrap him up early enough. Coming out of there holding his arm was one of the tacklers, Zayden Wolf. Other tackler was Donovan Burns for Central Valley, but the 2-point conversion is good, and Sandhills Thedford is pumped up on the far sideline. They take an 8-6 lead here on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. At the 6:55 mark, a touchdown by Sandhills Thedford on their second possession. A possession that started on their own 28-yard line back at the end of the first quarter. They take it into the second quarter and score on a 1-yard touchdown run by Kyle Cox. Now Dahlberg puts his foot into it. A low line drive that's taken inside the 5-yard line by Central Valley. Grady Kelly tackled and tripped up at the 20-yard line. That's where the Cougars will set up for their third possession of this one. Well, I can tell you already, folks, it looks like possessions are going to come at a premium in this one. You have to take advantage of when you have the ball. You've got to put points up on the board because it looks like sustained drives on offense are going to be a thing, and it looks like third and fourth downs are going to be a regular occurrence. Nikolajczyk in the pistol. Wolf behind him. Snap back. Misdirection, and it's a miscommunication. Nikolajczyk comes near side, and he had no one to pitch it to. Wolf went the other way, and Nikolajczyk was trying to run the option, and now he comes up a little bit gimpy after the 2-yard loss. Nikolajczyk almost blind pitched that one. He drew in the defender like you're supposed to, but he did well to hold on to it because Wolf was about 20 yards the other direction. Nikolajczyk, the man behind him and to his side. Option far side. Keeps it. Chopped down. Tackle made in the middle of the field by Andrew Furrow. Gain of about 1. It's going to be 3rd and 11. A good situation for the Knights defense. They're going to try to get this Cougars offense out off the field and a 3 and out on this play. Clock approaches 5.5 to go. Sandhills Thedford took the lead that you see on the scoreboard on a 1-yard touchdown run by quarterback Kyle Cox. Now Nikolajczyk stands alone in the backfield. 2 wide receivers top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. A little screen, and it's going to be knocked down. Sniffed out of there by Sandhills Thedford. Good play by Caden Zudavern right in the middle of the field. Got a paw on it, and it's going to be 4th down. The Cougars are going to have to punt. Big defensive play by Sandhills Thedford. And those are the plays that you need to have happen in what is looking like is going to be a tight game here tonight. Cougars to punt it away, that rugby style again. Going to go back to Cooksley inside his own 30-yard line. Gets a block out across the 40, and we're going to have a flag on the block by Caden Hakey. I believe this will be that blindside block variety that they've been calling this year. Or block in the back. Kind of, I don't know. If they were going to call anything, I don't know if block in the back would be what I would call. Maybe it was more of a blindside block because that wasn't really his back. Either way, it's going to back them up. And the Knights will take over and try to extend their lead. It just sits at 2 at the moment. Again, a shout out to the sponsors you're seeing scroll on your screen for bringing you this one on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. We drove from Broken Bow to cover this one. Excited to be here and bringing it to you. Kyle Cox throws out in the flat. Cooksley out across the 20, 25, flag. And slapping his helmet is Colin Winklebauer. I think he knows this one's on him. Out in space trying to lock up a block. Did something of the illegal variety, and that would be holding. So 2 penalties in a row on the Knights, and that makes it tougher sledding. Makes it a sledding uphill type of situation when you're trying to extend that lead, backing yourself up. So it's not going to back them up more than 5 yards from the original spot of the 22 since it was a spot foul. So it's going to be 1st and 13 from the 19. From the 19-yard line, 4 wide receivers for the quarterback, Kyle Cox. And a whistle is blown. Sandhills Thedford wants to talk a couple things over. We'll step away as well and come back for the final few minutes of the first half here on Sandhills Express. So the Knights outside the sticks. As we continue here in the second quarter, they've got the 8-6 lead. And let's see, the official's pointing to something. Oh, we've got some headlights on in the end zone. Surprisingly, that's my first headlights off in the end zone call of the season so far. I can't believe I've been to so many small town fields this season and have not had a stoppage for headlights yet. That's the first one. Kyle Cox stands alone in the backfield. Shotgun snap, looks up the field, now tries to escape. Escapes up the middle. Can't break the second tackle. Coming in and getting the tackle in space was Central Valley's Ty Landers. It's going to be right at about the line of scrimmage. Second down and a long 12 coming up for the Knights. Had a penalty on the kickoff, or on the punt return, excuse me, and then had an immediate hold on the very next play. And they've been trying to dig themselves out of that hole ever since. From the 19-yard line, 3 wide receivers for Kyle Cox. Hands it off to Cooksley. Up the middle, he's going to get wrapped up as he gets right back in between the sticks. Only going to be a gain of a few. But the Cougars rally after Sandhills Thedford spread it out and ran it up the middle. 3:42 to go here, first half. It's been an entertaining half. Not many possessions, but lots of third and fourth downs, some throws, some runs, some defensive stops, a turnover. We've seen a little bit of everything tonight. Kyle Cox, 4 wide receivers, 3 to the top. Snap back to him. Kyle looks near side, throws it up, looking for Hakey, goes back for it, goes right through his hands. Nikolajczyk on the coverage. It goes right through the hands of Hakey, who slaps his palms together on the way back, knows he had a chance at that one. Would have been an amazing catch if he made it. But it met his hands right at the top of his jump, and he couldn't come down with it. So Sandhills Thedford going to have to punt. Our first time that we've seen 2 punts in a row in this game. Hakey puts his foot into it. Line drive, getting a good look at it out across the 35 and getting popped down there was Central Valley's Boston Wood. Coming over and applying that pop at the end was Andrew Furrow. Good play there for the Knights, limiting the damage after the line drive punt. And the 35-yard line is where the Cougars will set up. .307 to work with. Central Valley would love to get a score here, knowing that they're going to have to kick it away to start the second half. Nikolajczyk hands it off and wrapped up immediately after about a 2-yard gain is Central Valley's Ty Landers. Going to be second down and 8 for the Cougars next. Snap back, Nikolajczyk hands it off. Landers can't quite break the tackle of the last man there. He saves the first down, does Caden Hakey. Kind of an awkward tackle as Hakey was holding on for dear life, but Cougars have gone for a change of pace with Landers, and he's had a couple of successful runs here to start this drive. It's going to be third down and short. It's going to be about 2 feet that the Cougars need here. One wide receiver split out to the top. Landers stands behind Nikolajczyk, the quarterback. Hard count, gets Sandhills Thedford to jump initially, but they get back. Nikolajczyk, pitch. Kelly has a first down. So they run that formation that puts Nikolajczyk in the backfield, kind of in a pistol. They start Kelly to his left, and the other backfield player, Landers, behind him. And then they run several different plays out of that. It was successful for a first down there, up to the 32 of the Knights. Two wide receivers to the top of your screen for Nikolajczyk. Screen to the near side. And it's sniffed out of there by Dahlberg. Also coming over and making a hit was Caden Hakey. Little misdirection there from the Cougars. They made it look like it was going to be an option to the far side, and then throwing back across the field was Nikolajczyk to Tajan Soto. He gets a gain of a couple up to the 30. Few nights with hands on hips here on defense. In 8-man football, you play offense, you play defense, you got to have lung capacity. Nikolajczyk hands it off to Landers. He's wrapped up immediately. Big time play inside by Andrew Furrow. Wasn't fooled on the inside give, and no gain. It's going to be third down. Timeout. Cougars will step away as well. Welcome back to Thedford. The 30-yard line is where Central Valley will have their next third down play. Two wide receivers to the top of your screen, one near side for the Cougars. Snap back to Nikolajczyk, looking up the field, wants to pass, double pumps, finds a man in the middle. Hakey wraps him up, but a good play inside the right hash to Tajan Soto of Central Valley, and that moves the chains for the Cougars. Impressive quarterback play there from Nikolajczyk as he looked to the right, double pumped, almost threw the ball out of there, but got the completion over the middle. Now a fade pass is going to be a duck at the goal line. Did he come down with it? Oh, man, they're going to mark him down at literally the 1-inch line, folks. Tajan Soto, a fade pass essentially from Nikolajczyk is going to be down at the 1-inch line. That's where Central Valley will set up. So they do a line change of players, and they're going to have a wildcat of sorts with three different backs in the backfield. Direct snap into the hands of Landers. Is he going to get there? He leans forward, and it is a touchdown. Touchdown Central Valley, and they do exactly what they need to do with 21.3 seconds left on the clock. A 1 yard, well, essentially a 1-inch touchdown run by Ty Landers. Now for the points after. Big plays there by Central Valley, knowing they have to kick it away to start the second half. Their first 2-point conversion was no good. We'll see about this one. Nikolajczyk throws out in the flat. It's taken in by Boston Wood on the out route, and it's a 2-point conversion that is good for Central Valley. So the Cougars go from their own 35-yard line, receive the ball from Sandhills Thedford at the 3:07 mark, drove all the way down. A 1-yard touchdown run by Ty Landers gives them the lead 14-8. Just over 21 seconds to work with here for Sandhills Thedford. Never know, big special teams play could set you up in position to make a play or take a shot at the end zone. Or you could be conservative, knowing you're going to receive it to start the second half and just kneel it down and take it that direction. We'll see what they elect to do. Tanner Landers kicks it off for the Cougars. And this is going to be received by Hakey. Went over the goal line. They allow him to come out, and he's tackled just short of the 15-yard line, stacked up there and driven back. So the 14-yard line is where the Cougars will start. Excuse me, where the Knights will start, where the Cougars made the tackle. First 12 seconds and change left on the clock. The Knights have a lot of the field to go in that 12 seconds. They do come out and put Kyle Cox in a shotgun. 4 wide receivers for the quarterback. Kyle Cox drops back, steps into one, throws it, looking for Hakey. Hakey, oh, he can't catch it. That was a perfectly placed ball by Kyle Cox, and Hakey can't reel it in. Went right through his hands, over his shoulder. That one puts you in a position to score if you're the Knights. Wow, what a pass from Kyle Cox. I'm sure Kyle would tell you that was probably one of his better throws of the year. Wow. So our questions are answered, and the Knights come out, and they are aggressive, and they get the play that they want, but it is unsuccessful, and they'll take a timeout to talk things over about the final 5.9 seconds in front of them. So we'll see what the Knights decide to do. Kyle Cox has Cooksley standing next to him, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the top. Kyle Cox drops back, a screen to Cooksley in the middle of the field, and Cooksley in the open field, out across the 30, and he's chopped down there, and the clock has expired. Wow, what a first half, folks. Thanks for tuning in for it. We've still got another half. We'll bring it to you. It's 14-8. Central Valley leads it here in Thedford. Back after the halftime festivities here in Thedford on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. We'll continue to let the sponsors scroll on your screen. Take notice of those folks because they are the ones bringing you this broadcast this evening. I'm Jeremy Scheib. Jeff Bailey is behind the camera. We're excited for a second half right here on Sandhills Express. If you would please consider following our Facebook page or subscribing to our YouTube page, it would be much appreciated. We'll be back for the second half. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the YouTube and Facebook stream from KCNI KBBN Radio and SandhillsExpress.com. If you follow or subscribe to our pages while you're watching tonight's action, what you can expect in the future is a live stream of our morning show each Monday to Friday in Broken Bow, Nebraska, and we do sports streams as well. We've got the winter sports season around the corner once football's wrapped up. Here we go with the second half. Central Valley to kick it off. Sandhills Thedford will start with the ball. And it's going to go into the hands of Cooksley, who drops it back into the end zone, going to have to recover. Out across the 10 to the 15, and he's wrapped up short of the 20-yard line. That is where the Knights will start their first offensive drive of the second half. The Knights trail it 14-8. And we'll see what they dial up coming out of the halftime locker room. Cox is going to have Cooksley with him in the backfield. Snap back, handoff. Cooksley, head full of steam. Already has a 5-yard gain out across the 25 to the 26. Make it a long 6-yard gain, and that's a good positive play on first down for Sandhills Thedford. That's exactly what they want to see here in this second half. Cooksley 628 yards rushing on this season, 8 touchdowns. Also has 6 receiving touchdowns on just 23 receptions. He's the main back. Caden Hakey also with 44 carries and a touchdown out of the fullback position. A shove over to Cooksley, reverses field and gets tripped up just across the 30, but it will move the chains for the Knights. And Cooksley kind of took a hit on the thigh there. Comes up a little bit gimpy, but looks like this is going to be something he's going to be able to walk and high knee off the right side of your screen. A minute gone here in the third quarter. Kyle Cox in the shotgun with Hakey standing to his right. Cooksley split out to the top. Handoff into the belly of Hakey. Hakey follows his blocker, Furrow, and gets a good gain of 8 up to the 38-yard line. Second down and 3. Approaching midfield are the Knights. Handoff to Cooksley. Cooksley is going to have the first down. Getting the tackle on him as he goes across the yard to gain for Central Valley is Traven Straka. Chains move, and it's a good positive drive here so far for Sandhills Thedford into Cougar territory. Handoff up the middle. Cooksley going to get about a half a yard there. Good stop for Central Valley. Second down and long coming up. Second down and 9 for the Knights. Kyle Cox. One man in the backfield with him. Shotgun snap. Design quarterback run. Cox follows Cooksley, and he's going to fall forward for a good 6-yard gain short of the 30-yard line. That's going to make third down certainly more manageable for the Knights. Spotted the helmet of Xander Wolf, the star running back and defensive player for Central Valley. Looks like his evening might be over as his helmet is over here sitting on top of a cooler on the sideline. Didn't see him as much there towards the end of the first half. Ty Landers got many of the carries there at the end of the first half on offense for the Cougars. Cooksley, handoff, flag comes flying in, and Cooksley's going to be across the yard to gain for now, but we'll see what the penalty flag is about. And it's going to go against the Knights. So the Knights get the first down, and the chop block is called against the Knights, and that will back them up. So they'll have to give third down a try again, this time from a little bit further away. But what we saw from both of these teams in the first half is that when they need to, they can go a little bit deeper into that playbook and do something that maybe they're not necessarily uncomfortable with. It's just something they're not as used to. Trips to the near side for Sandhills Thedford's Kyle Cox. Snap back to him. Looks to the near side. Throws it out. Hakey tries to move his way upfield. Gets inside the 30. That's going to make fourth down much more manageable. They get to within 2 yards of the first down inside the Central Valley 30. Now the Knights can open up the playbook a little bit more and use that run game of theirs. Again, coming into this one, the Knights rushed for just over 1,500 yards and passed for just over 1,300. Pretty balanced offense this season. Out of the I formation, Kyle Cox tries to go up the middle, but a timeout was called by his sideline first. Looks like Cox would have had it if the play would have happened, but the Knights will talk things over. This is a big play for them coming up after we step away. So here we go, 4th down and 1. Knights come out of the timeout in the same formation that they had before. Kyle Cox hands it off. Cooksley has the first down inside the 25. Ball comes out at the end. Central Valley has it. The second fumble from Cooksley on the night. The first one was inside his opponent's 5-yard line. This one inside his opponent's 25. And those turnovers are going to hurt in a playoff game. They hurt in any game, but especially against a formidable opponent like Central Valley who can make you pay for it. Central Valley out there on offense. Nikolajczyk hands it off. Getting the carry and being wrapped up by Hakey and dropped for a loss. It's the running back Ty Landers in there for the injured Xander Wolf. Big play after a flip of possession by the defense of Caden Hakey out in space. 2nd and 12, Cougars. Nikolajczyk, snap back to him. Throws out in the flat. Getting a hand on it for Sandhills Thedford was Rhett McFadden. That one probably would have been complete out here on the near side to Boston Wood if he doesn't get his paw up there. 2 big plays defensively for Sandhills Thedford after the turnover from Connor Cooksley. Big 3rd down and long play here for both teams. Nikolajczyk stands alone in the backfield. Feels pressure from Wild. Completes it over the middle and getting popped after picking up a first down is Central Valley's Tajan Soto. But the pass was complete and the nose of the football is going to be out there for a first down for the Cougars. Wow, what a completion. Nikolajczyk had Zeb Wild right in his face mask. Completed the pass over the middle, and then the hit stick was put on there. Wow, he did a good job to hold on to that football. Amazing. First down. Ball sits a few inches away from the 34-yard line. Nikolajczyk stands alone. 2 wide receivers to the top, 1 to the near side. Man in motion. They hand the ball to him. Boston Wood looking for some room on the far side. He gets smacked down after a gain of 3. A flag came in on the far side of the field as well. We'll see what the flag's about. An illegal shift called on Central Valley. So with 6:26 to go here in the third quarter, Central Valley is going to get backed up after grinding themselves into first down territory on a gutsy throw over the middle and holding on a big hit. They're going to have first down and a long 15 here, now outside the 30-yard line. Same formation, Nikolajczyk in the backfield alone. Snap back to him. Throws over the middle, has his man. Soto going to get wrapped up after he just gets inside the original line of scrimmage for this set of downs. Going to be a gain of 6 up to the 35, but a good play defensively by Sandhills Thedford to close the gap and make the tackle on the far side. Over there in the area, Connor Cooksley, also Kobe Higgins in there defensively for Sandhills Thedford. Kobe Higgins, Connor Cooksley, and Caden Hakey all have 3 interceptions on the year for the Knights. Kyle Cox leads them defensively in the INT category with 5 of his own. They would love to have one of those right now. Central Valley grinding their way up the field. 2nd down and 9 from the 35. Nikolajczyk, snap back. Throws one up. He's got a man. He can't reel it in. It would have had to have been an acrobatic one-handed catch for Grady Kelly. He was almost able to scoop it in against the defense of Cooksley and Cox over there by the 20-yard line. Couldn't quite do it. And it's going to be 3rd down and 9. 5:21 on the third quarter clock. 14-8 Central Valley leads. They have the ball. Sandhills Thedford needs a big play defensively here to force the Cougars off the field so that they can get back on their side offensively. Nikolajczyk, snap back to him. Looking, feeling pressure, a screen. The screen is going to be good for a first down. Running it for the Cougars is Soto. He's inside the 25-yard line of Sandhills Thedford. Wow, you talk about setting up a screen perfectly from the quarterback position. Nikolajczyk let the pressure come all the way up in front of him. He backpedaled until the very last moment and threw one right up into the middle of the Knights defense, and the result is a first down. Sandhills Thedford doing the right things, forcing these long yardage situations, but that's the 3rd long down yardage that Central Valley has picked up on this drive. The direct snap goes to Zayden Wolf. Gets about a yard. Excuse me, that was Grady Kelly on the direct snap. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Cougars as they approach the 20-yard line of the Knights. As we're inside 5 minutes to go here, third quarter. Said it in the first half, possessions are going to be pivotal in this one. Direct snap this time to Ty Landers. Landers with a spurt ahead. Going to get about a gain of 7. It's going to be 3rd down and 2 for Central Valley coming up. Playing without their star running back Xander Wolf, but the the Cougars offense going out there and doing some great things despite being without Wolf. 3rd down and 2. The Knights defense digs in. Direct snap to Grady Kelly. Leans forward. It's going to be pretty close to the line, and they are going to mark it for a first down inside the 15-yard line for the Cougars. Trying to pay off after the fumble at their own 23-yard line. The 2nd fumble on the night for Connor Cooksley. That was back at the 8:40 mark. We've now ticked inside 3.5 minutes to go. Direct snap into the hands of Landers. Landers looking for some room on the right side. Hakey wraps him up, but not before Landers is able to lean forward inside the 10-yard line. Gain of 5 on first down, going to set up 2nd and 5 for Central Valley. Central Valley, same formation. After throwing early in the possession, now they've gone to the run game. Direct snap. Kelly searching for some room, going to get shoved back. Leading the charge, Andrew Furrow defensively for Sandhills Thedford. No gain. 3rd down and 5. Central Valley needs about the 3.5-yard line for a first down. Very interesting to see an offense go from so much passing and screen game and throwing it on the other side of the field. Now they have switched completely and gone to this run game. Direct snap back to Landers. Landers stacked up. Now finds a little bit of room. Going to get about a 3-yard gain. But that's going to set up a humongous 4th down play. 4th and 2, a stop that the Knights defense most certainly needs. The ball sits at the 5. Needing the 3-yard line are the Cougars. 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Cougars lead it 14-8. Knocking on the door here, but a 4th down stands in their way. And we're going to probably see a timeout here from the Cougars staff. It looks to be that way, as they're going to let the clock run down a little bit. And they do call a timeout. We'll step away as well, and when we come back, we'll have that huge 4th down play for you here on Sandhills Express. Well, here we go, folks. The teams have talked things over. The defensive and offensive schemes are coming out of the timeout, and we'll see what Central Valley draws up. Kelly. Oh, and this is going to be a false start on Central Valley. Movement to the left of the Wildcat position. Ty Landers steps forward, and that's going to back the Cougars up. Wow, what a break for the Knights. Off on the snap count was the Central Valley offense, and it's going to now be 4th and much longer. Back at the 10-yard line, they need to get down to the 3. It's going to be 4th and 7 for Central Valley. They come out. They bring Nikolajczyk back out there. He's got a wide receiver each way. In the pistol, he's got Kelly behind him. And another flag flies in. We'll see what this one's all about. Another false start on Central Valley. That's another bullet in the foot of the Cougars, who are going backwards without even snapping the ball now. Wow. 4th down and 12, Central Valley. The ball now sits outside the 15-yard line. Now some confusion, and a flag is going to fly in. This is going to be an illegal substitution. There's only 7 players out there. I think the official's going to pick up this flag. He thought there were too many men in the huddle, and he apologizes to the Central Valley coaching staff. There was confusion on the substitution, but usually when you see that, there's too many men in the huddle. They had the right amount. They just didn't have the players that they wanted. It was a very awkward huddle, but now Central Valley comes to the line trying to run a play here. Landers in motion, snap back, Nikolajczyk looking towards Landers, now going to try to escape, running forward, now backpedaling, now throwing for the end zone, the ball's up, and it's caught! It's tipped and then caught. Tanner Landers comes down with it. It was slapped out of the air by a defender, and Landers snags it to score 6 for Central Valley. Whoa! Big play for Central Valley on that one. A minute 37 third quarter. They extend their lead to 20-8. Sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time, and Tanner Landers was exactly that. Now for the two-point attempt. A Wildcat. Kelly searching for some room. Sandhills Thedford going to knock him down short. No two-point conversion for Central Valley, but they do the damage with the 6. The touchdown pass goes from Nikolajczyk to Tanner Landers. And Central Valley extends their lead to 20-8 here on Sandhills Express. Easily the most exciting play of the game so far. Tanner Landers comes up with the touchdown reception off the defensive tip by Sandhills Thedford. Now he kicks it off for Central Valley, and this one is going to go out of bounds. We'll see what the Knights elect to do. They'll take the ball and the penalty, or if they'll force a re-kick. Well, now Sandhills Thedford needs themselves an answer. They've got to have a nice, long, sustained drive. They'd like some good field position on this special teams play to start with. And what keys me off to that, well, nope, they initially looked like they were going to go back and re-kick it, but they are going to take 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Sandhills Thedford needing to answer. They gave up the ball inside the Central Valley 25. On a fumble from Connor Cooksley. Now it's a run by Caden Hakey. Hakey carrying that ball high and tight. Going to get knocked down after a gain of 6 on the far side of the field. Evenly spaced has been the scoring so far here tonight. Central Valley scoring on the first possession of the game. Sandhills Thedford scoring on the last possession of the first quarter. Central Valley scoring at almost the end of the half. And now Central Valley with the lone score here in the second half so far. A shove pitch out to Caden Hakey, has the first down as he approaches midfield and moves the sticks for the Knights. Minute 25 to go, third quarter. Sandhills Thedford trails 20-8. First down at their own 38-yard line. Shove pitch out to Caden Hakey. Swims through a block. A block that was of the illegal variety based on the flag that comes in. We'll see the call from the White Hat. And it is a hold against Sandhills Thedford, so they'll be backed up. Well, Sandhills Thedford has called Caden Hakey's name here on this drive. Going kind of for a little bit of a change of pace. Connor Cooksley still out there for the Knights, providing some of the blocking for Hakey, who's toting the ball. Knights need to take care of the ball and retain possession here, ending in points. That's what everyone in green wants to see. Kyle Cox in the shotgun. Snap back to him. A little bit of a shove play forward this time to Caden Hakey. A two-handed shovel pass essentially is good for a gain of about 5. Still going to be second down and 15 facing the Knights, who gained some of that penalty yardage back. Under a minute to go here, third quarter. Two wide receivers to the top, one to the bottom for quarterback Kyle Cox. Snap back to him. Looks to the top, looks to the bottom, now looks to escape. Central Valley tries to bottle him up. They can't quite bottle him up, and he escapes out across the 40 and makes something of it. What an inspired run by Kyle Cox. Breaks 2 or 3 tackles. Central Valley had him dead to rights, and he's going to give Sandhills Thedford a 3rd and manageable inside Cougars territory. Knights really all of a sudden having to work for everything against this Cougars defense. Knights looking to get one more snap accomplished here in the 3rd quarter. Snap back to Cox. Kyle looks over the middle, throws it to the far side. Cooksley goes back for it. Can he catch it? He can't. Ball is dropped. Cooksley had it up high, and when he tried to suck it into his stomach, he couldn't quite come down with it. That one falls incomplete, and we'll see at least one more play here in the 3rd quarter. A big 4th down play with just over 3 seconds on the 3rd quarter clock. A play that really Sandhills Thedford really needs at this point, because you give it back to the Central Valley offense, who is really, well, they haven't turned the ball over, and they've done long, sustained drives. Snap back, Kyle Cox shoves it out. Hakey looking for some room. He's going to get piled up at the line of scrimmage. Central Valley rallied, and they're pumped up. Look at that emotion from the Cougars. Coming out of there, leading the charge for the Cougars was Zayden Wolf, the sophomore for Central Valley. Sandhills Thedford turns it over on downs as we end the 3rd quarter at the 35-yard line of Central Valley. We'll come back for that 4th quarter after we step away for a moment. Well, the Cougars forced the turnover on downs at the end of the 3rd quarter, and now they look to burn the clock away, leading this one 20-8. Direct snap. Landers right up the middle for a gain of 8. Tough sledding up there at the end of that one, but he falls forward. Really, the tackle started just across the 40, but the tackle finished at about the 36. That's just using momentum and speed to gain as much yardage despite the tackle at the end of the play. One play ran, 30 seconds gone for the Cougars, who want to see that clock run out on this one with their score higher. Grady Kelly back in there at the Wildcat. Snap back to Kelly, follows his blockers, and he's going to lean forward and be right at the yard to gain. The near side official says it passes the eye test, and the chains will move, and the Cougars will have a new set of downs as the ball is spotted and the clock starts. 1 minute of 12 gone here in the 4th quarter now. Sandhills Thedford needs that football. Obviously, the Cougars know that, and there's going to be a lot of 2 arms on the ball action now. In there at the Wildcat now is Ty Landers. Direct snap to him. Ty's going to be wrapped up around the leg. Oh, his leg gets bent at a weird angle there. It looks like he's not feeling any pain from that, which is great. But Zeb Wild got him around the leg, and Landers kind of got bent back by the tacklers up top. Good to see him hop out of there okay. Good job by the Knights defense on that play. forcing the stop right at the line of scrimmage. Possessions, we have not had many of them. Central Valley now. The Wildcat Thailanders. They direct snap it to the man next to him, Grady Kelly. Kelly not going to find much room. He's going to get about a half yard. So that's going to set up third down and long. The next couple of downs are certainly something that Sandhills Thedford has to take advantage of. They have to get the Cougars offense off the field, and they need a score. To put in perspective the possession situation, normally I fill about a page and a half of notebook with possessions for my drive chart. I've only filled a half of one notebook page here tonight. Snap back, Nickel Isaac in there, and a flag comes in. Things looked a little awkward right around the line of scrimmage. And that's because there was another false start on Central Valley. They had their Wildcat package in there until about the last minute. Then they brought Nickel Isaac back in there to throw the ball in the long yardage situation. Sandhills Thedford takes the penalty. The ball sits between the 37 and 38 yard line of the Knights. Nickel Isaac stands in there at quarterback and will bring the offense to the line. One wide receiver to the top of your screen is Boston Wood. Near side receiver is Tanner Landers, had that acrobatic and amazing touchdown catch last time out. Nickel Isaac pressured, throws it up. The ball is tipped and falls incomplete. It's going to be fourth down from that same spot. Closing in on the ball and trying to get there was Rhett McFadden, but it fell about 6 yards in front of him. Couldn't quite close on it fast enough to come down with it. Knights defense going to be out there for at least one more snap this series. From the 37.5 yard line, a punt. Grady Kelly, that rugby style kick, puts his foot into it, angles it, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 2. What a punt. Goodness gracious, an amazing punt from Grady Kelly. It's going to be 1st and 10, Sandhills Thedford from the 2. A run up the middle to try to gain a little bit more traction by Sandhills Thedford and to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. Cooksley gets about 4 yards, well, we'll call it a long 3 yards on the first carry. 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Knights now. Out of the I formation. Snap back, Kyle Cox stands in his own end zone, looking for a play over the middle. Has Hakey, overthrew him. Threw it over the outstretched arms of Caden Hakey, who might have had 6 in the scorebook if he's able to reel that in. Really about the first pass, honestly, in this entire game that you can say that Kyle Cox missed. He has had it figured out when he's had to throw it so far this game. Now 3rd down and 6. Design quarterback run. Kyle Cox, shifty, finds some room on the far side. Swims through a tackler out across the 15 to the 20, the 25, 30, and shoved out of bounds there. Big play for the Sandhills Thedford Knights, who are alive with 8:01 to go, trying to get a quick score on the board. Sandhills Thedford fans across the way imploring their team to keep the foot on the long, skinny pedal on the right, called the gas pedal. 8:01 to go here, 4th quarter. Central Valley digs in on defense, leading it 20-8. Snap back, Kyle Cox, he's going to run it again, searching for some room, swimming through, jabbing, falling forward for a gain of 5 yards on 1st down. I tell you what, that is patient running by the quarterback, Kyle Cox. He's only a sophomore, but he is looking like a senior runner out there. It has got to be so hard to see 8 defenders running at you and essentially come to a stop to wait for the blockers to run out in front of you. Second down and a long 5. Ball sits at the 35-yard line. Under center is Kyle Cox. Drops back to pass. Patiently looks. Now escapes. Pitches it. Running in the open ground is Cooksley, and he goes out of bounds short of the 30-yard line of the Cougars. First down, Sandhills Thedford, eating up a couple of chunks of yardage on a few plays on this series. From the 33-yard line of Central Valley, here comes Sandhills Thedford. One wide receiver far side. Pitch play out to Cooksley. Cooksley follows his blockers, leans in, gets what he can. Gets up to the 30-yard line, but Cooksley, realizing that he was going to get shut off on the outside angle, decided to go to the inside and gain 2 there. Furrow out there leading the way, blocking. Kyle Cox brings the offense up quickly. Drops back, wants to pass, steps into one, looking for Hakey. Hakey tries to go back for it, but the defense was there and slapped it away. Caden Hakey couldn't get to it. Is that Nikolajczyk over there? It is. The official's now going to talk about something over there in the corner of the end zone. One official without his hat on. And we'll see which way this call goes. The hat off means that a player went out of bounds without. Now the question is whether that player was forced out of bounds or if they went out of bounds without being forced that way. That would be a penalty. So we'll hear from the white hat. This is a big call. It's pass interference against Central Valley. They're going to say they forced the receiver out of bounds. The official puts his hat back on, tucks that flag back into the waistband, and they're going to mark off some yardage, figure out what down it's going to be, and we'll get underway here for the remainder of the fourth quarter as Sandhills Thedford continues to eat up some yardage in chunks. It's been either yardage in chunks or no gains or little gains on this drive. There's been nothing in between. Those 5 and 6 yard gains have not been happening. First down, Knights. Play clock starts. Incomplete pass, so the game clock will not start. 6:45 on the clock. Kyle Cox, one man in the backfield with him. It's Cooksley. Design quarterback run. Looking for some room. Gonna get wrapped up at the 15-yard line. Big play and a slap of the chest from Central Valley's Zayden Wolf, who's made a couple of big plays defensively here in the second half. That one keeps the clock running because it's not a passing play. Kyle Cox tackled at the line of scrimmage. Now the clock is the biggest enemy of the Knights. I formation for Sandhills Thedford. Kyle Cox under center. Snap back. Wants to pass. Looking for a man in the flat. Can't go there. Now finds Cooksley. Cooksley has some green grass in front of him. He's going to angle towards the end zone and score. 15 yards out. Sandhills Thedford gets the score. And they're alive in this one. 6:09 to go in the fourth quarter. It's a 20-14 game. We'll see about the points after. Great job again by Kyle Cox being patient. Found Cooksley waiting for the ball in the open ground. And good for Connor Cooksley. He's got a couple of fumbles here this evening. He held on to that one, held it high and tight. No one touched him. There was no chance of a fumble there. He ran into the end zone from 15 yards out. Now the two-point attempt. Handoff to Cooksley. Puts his head down and scores. The two-point conversion is good for the Knights. They've got the energy now. We'll see if they pull it into defensive side of the ball when we come back. What a drive from Sandhills Thedford. Started at their own 2, made quick work, drove all the way down the field, 78 yards to score it and pull to within 4 points. They've got time to work with here. It's 20-16 Central Valley, but the Cougars are going to get the ball, and they have shown so far this evening that they don't give up the ball easily. They've got a very talented offense that can have a lot of different looks. We've seen the pass, we've seen the screen, we've seen the wildcat. Dahlberg puts his foot into it, kicks this one into the hands of an up man. That's Tanner Landers. Landers up to the 25-yard line. That's where he is tackled. And Sandhills Thedford will set up defensively, the Cougars offensively, and we'll sort out the final 6:05 of this contest. Second round of the D2. After everything was reseeded, after the round of 32 went down to 16. Winner of this one is going to face the winner of BDS and Lawrence Nelson. Last I knew, BDS was leading that one 16-0 with 10:46 left in the second quarter. Snap back, Nickel Isaac looking to pass, has a man out in the flat, going down for it, and being called immediately down when he caught it was Tajan Soto. Going to be about a gain of 3 or 4. Gutsy play by Central Valley, because if you don't complete that, the clock stops, which is huge for Sandhills Thedford. So Soto did good to get underneath that one and keep that clock ticking. That clock ticking is the friend of Central Valley, and every tick is one less opportunity for Sandhills Thedford on the field. Nickel Isaac stands in there alone in the backfield. Snap back to him, looks to pass, throws over the middle, has his man again at midfield, breaks a tackle up to the 35 is Central Valley's Soto. And the Cougars not laying back and running this one like you would think you would in this instance. Running the ball keeps the clock running, but they're just imposing their will against the secondary of Sandhills Thedford. Soto has been wide open the last 2 plays out there, and the Knights haven't done anything to stop it. The chains move. More time is destined to tick off that clock with the first down. Tanner Landers, the lone wide receiver out near side. Nickel Isaac hands it off. Landers gonna fall forward for a gain of a few before he's gang tackled there. Furrow leading the charge for Sandhills Thedford. Also coming out of there is Hakey. Lead blocker on that play comes out of the play last. That's Kian Benson, the senior guard and defensive end for the Cougars. Kind of got stacked up on by about 5 or 6 players there, so he's the last one to get up. Clock approaches 4 to go in this tight contest. Sandhills Thedford needs the ball. Tanner Landers out near side. Snap back, Nickel Isaac runs the option. Can Sandhills Thedford cover? They can. They wrap up the runner, Ty Landers, just short of the 30-yard line. 3rd down and 5, facing Central Valley next. This drive started at the 6:04 mark. Central Valley was at their own 30-yard line after the kickoff from Dahlberg. Now Sandhills Thedford trying to dig in and get this ball one way or another, either through downs or via turnover. One wide receiver out near side for Central Valley, that's Boston Wood. Wide receiver out to the top is Tanner Landers. Snap back, Nickel Isaac hands it off to the man up the middle. It's Landers. Landers is going to have a first down. That's what Central Valley will do. 3 different offensive phases they'll show you. They'll spread it out and throw it. They'll spread it out and run it like you just saw there, or they'll bring everyone in tight and they'll run the Wildcat. What an offense put on the field by this Cougars squad of Central Valley. Timeout on the field will step away as well. 3:10 to go here, 4th quarter in the second round of the D2 playoffs. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. Looks like between Facebook and YouTube, we've got about 435 of you watching at the moment. Thanks for tuning in. Nickel Isaac, snap back to him, hands it off to the only man in the backfield with him. That's Ty Landers. Leans forward for a gain of a few. 2nd and 8 as the clock ticks inside, 3 to go. Sandhills Thedford has the only score of this 4th quarter. That was a 15-yard touchdown pass from Kyle Cox to Connor Cooksley. The 2-point conversion was good. That's what gave us this 20-16 score. Previous score to that was from Central Valley, a 16-yard pass from Nickel Isaac to Tanner Landers. That tipped pass by the Knights defense fell right into Landers. That was a Matt Davison type situation. Let's just call it that. Handoff. Landers tackled right across the 20-yard line, and Sandhills Thedford is going to take their timeout here. It's an opportunity that they've got to seize. It's going to be 3rd down and 6, Central Valley, inside the 20. Knights not out of this one yet. They've got to have a stop on 3rd. They've got to have a stop on 4th, and they're going to have very little time to work with, but they would have time to work with if they're able to get a turnover on downs here. They would have a chance, but it has to happen here in these next 2 plays. Out of the timeout, here we go. 2 big plays coming up here potentially. If Sandhills Thedford can get a stop that they need here on 3rd down, Central Valley has something to say about that. Snap back, Nickel Isaac. The misdirection reverse. They hand it off to Kelly, and he's going to get tripped up. Wow, good recovery by the Knights defense. That was tricky out of the timeout by Central Valley. Grady Kelly got it on the misdirection, and the reverse doesn't fool Sandhills Thedford. Well, here's the game essentially, folks. No timeouts for Sandhills Thedford. 4th down and 4 for Central Valley. Knights need to get a stop here. We'll see if Central Valley does run a play. They've got timeouts to use if they want to talk about it more, but that also gives the defense an opportunity to talk too. Tanner Landers out near side. Kelly stands to the left of Nickel Isaac. They come near side. They run the option. Nickel Isaac drops back to pass. It goes up. Kyle Cox intercepts it at the 1. Kyle Cox out across the 5 to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30, and he's shoved out of bounds. It's Sandhills Thedford football, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. Here come the Knights. .135 on the 4th quarter clock, an interception at the 1-yard line. It is a call against the Cougars, tack on extra yardage at the end of it, and this one is fully within the reach of the Sandhills Thedford Knights now. Wow. Well, here we go. Sandhills Thedford going to be in Cougars territory with the foul on the far side by the Cougars. 35-yard line, 1:35 to work with for Sandhills Thedford. Kyle Cox with his 6th interception this season. Under center, Kyle Cox drops back to pass, throws it in the flat. Caden Hakey swims through one would-be tackler, gets a gain of 8 on 1st down on the reception. Very little time comes off the clock. It's going to be 2nd down and 2 for Sandhills Thedford. They spot the ball. 2nd down, more 1 yard rather than 2 like I called it. Dahlberg going to split out with Hakey to the near side for Sandhills Thedford. 1 wide receiver to the top of your screen. Snap back, Kyle Cox throws it. Cooksley has blockers out across the 25, and he breaks 1 tackle, but Central Valley recovers well. It's going to be a 1st down for Sandhills Thedford, based off of what I'm seeing here. So they're going to move the chains. 25-yard line. Shouts about the clock running, not running. All kinds of things going on here as the snap back is to Kyle Cox. Kyle Cox looking to pass, looking for a man over the middle, leaning for it. Did he catch it? Did Caden Hakey catch it? It was close to the ground. Did he catch it? The referees confer. They spot the ball. They spot the ball at the 3-yard line. It's a catch to Caden Hakey. 48 seconds on the clock. Sandhills Thedford marching. Cougars want to talk things over. Sandhills Thedford with all the momentum in the world, knocking on the door inside the 5 of the Cougars. We'll come back for the play after this. .48 seconds on the clock. Sandhills Thedford from the 3-yard line and whistles. It is going to be a false start on Sandhills Thedford, and cheers come from the Cougars sideline. So the ball backs up to about the 8-yard line. Sandhills Thedford with 47.5 seconds now. Cooksley stands to the right of Kyle Cox. Kyle barks out the call. Snap back to him. Follows his blocker, Cooksley. Cuts back in. Central Valley's there. Flag comes in. This is going to be a face mask, I believe. It's going to be a face mask. Central Valley reacting that way. Oh! It's a hold against Sandhills Thedford. 2 Central Valley Cougars came out of there extremely upset. It looked like at themselves, but they must have been upset at the call. But now the officials are coming together because we've got 2 flags on the field, one on the near side and one on the far side. So we'll see if those calls are the same or different. They're going to stick with just the holding call. While Sandhills Thedford certainly making this much harder on themselves with these holds and the false start. It is now going to be an and goal situation from the 19-yard line. Snap back, Kyle Cox has a man over the middle. Skying for it is Furrow. Furrow catches it inside the 5, down at the 4-yard line. Sandhills Thedford back in action. Clock ticks inside 25 seconds. Sandhills Thedford gets up on the ball, and Kyle Cox spikes it. The clock stops with 20.2 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Sandhills Thedford down by 4, 20-16. Ball is on the 4-yard line. It's 3rd and goal from there. The Knights get a big play over the middle. They complete a pass to Andrew Furrow, who probably has less than 10 catches this season. Amazing from Sandhills Thedford. They put 3 bullets in their foot, and then they have a positive play inside the 5. 20 seconds from the 4. Kyle Cox, design quarterback run, trying to find some room, is wrapped up, down to the 3. Sandhills Thedford's got to get back up on the ball. It's going to come down to this one play. 10 seconds. 4th down. Snap back. Kyle Cox looking for some room. Searches for the end zone. He didn't get there. He didn't get there. Sandhills Thedford did not have the blockers they needed. Central Valley had the advantage personnel-wise, and Kyle Cox is tackled short of the goal line with 1.5 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Wow. So hard in these deep in game situations, when you do not have timeouts in your pocket, when you run the ball that close to the goal line and you don't get it, you've got to get up, you've got to have another call played, and you have to execute it in less than 10 seconds. And Sandhills Thedford comes up just short, 1.5 seconds left, and one snap away from advancing are the Central Valley Cougars. What a finish to this football game. Wow. Ball sits at about the 3-yard line, and Central Valley, I would imagine that the discussion in their huddle is going to be snap the ball and kneel it down. We just need a good snap and we advance to the round of 8. Wow, all kinds of emotions on the field on both sides here from the crowd and from the teams now. Nickel Isaac stands in his own end zone. Snap back to him. He steps forward to the 1 and will kneel it there. And the clock expires on this one. Central Valley will advance to the next round, the round of 8. The Cougars advance in the D2 playoffs in a nail-biter here in Thedford that certainly delivered. Coming into this one, folks, you were one of two crowds. You were either a crowd looking at it from the outside saying, well, this is a 5 seed versus a 12 seed matchup. I don't know that that'll be much of a game. Or you were like one of the folks that know these two teams, knowing their offenses and defenses, thinking, wow, this could be a close game. And it certainly was. It came all the way down to the final 2.5 seconds, and Central Valley gets the victory. Before we close our broadcast, I want to thank the sponsors that made it possible. You've seen them scrolling on your screen throughout the entirety of our broadcast. They include Thedford Public Schools, the Callaway District Hospital with the Arnold and Callaway Medical Clinics, Kristen Electric, Nebraska State Bank, Meade Lumber, Colligan with Del Moniger and Tim Wright, BD Broken Bow, Agland ATV, Power Solutions, Grocery Cart Broken Bow, Insurance of the Heartland, Agribest Feeds, Lines Appliance, Palmer Monument, Gateway Motors Broken Bow, Sargent Insurance Agency of Thedford, Crossroads Auto Repair Specialists, Western Nebraska Bank, Sandhills Public Schools, Kyle and Carrie Hakey, Ewalt's Grocery, Sandhill Oil, Midwest Partitions, BD Broken Bow, Consolidated, Bass Enterprises, and Custer Public Power District. My name is Jeremy Shipe. Jeff Bailey was behind the camera. We appreciate you tuning in tonight on the Sandhills Express YouTube and Facebook pages. One last time, if you're interested, no pressure. It's completely free. If you'd like to follow our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel, we would certainly appreciate it. Again, we had 4 area teams in action tonight: Sandhills Thedford, Broken Bow, Twin Loop, and South Loop. We'll check on some of those other scores. We'll reconvene next week as the playoffs continue across the state in the NSAA. For Jeff Bailey, I'm Jeremy Shipe. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us.